Welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Just got done reminiscing about the past, talking about RLCSs of days gone by, and now we're talking about a new thing here. This is all about 3v3. Everything we've talked about, like up until this point on this show, and for like the last 2 years has been about 3v3, but now there's a 2v2 scene in the house. This is pretty crazy. The NBC Universal Open. We can talk about this tournament and the crazy stuff that's going on here. A 2v2 tournament full of regionals all over the place. Take a look at some of the information that is about this tournament. To say the top 2 teams from each regional earn their spot in the grand finals. There's 2 left to go right now. We just had 2 this past weekend. Now on the 12th and the 13th, the Midwest and the West Regional will move forward. Their top 4 teams from a European Invitational also to happen here this next weekend. We'll move into the grand finals, and you can see there at the end, the grand finals taking place on August 26th and 27th. And there are tickets you can get for that if you want to go look for that online. They're not too expensive. They're like 15 bucks or something like that. So live finals for a 2v2 tournament, 100K on the line.
A lot of teams too. We got 16 total teams, 4 from Europe and then 12 from North America. So I don't think a lot of these North American teams probably want to play those high-powered Europeans because it's going to be the cream of the crop at that point. So it should be interesting.
It's crazy though how tight these things have been already, and how there's been teams full of bubble players that most people in the community have never heard of, taking other teams that are full of very, very popular players all the way to the end of the series. And so far, Cloud9 with Squishy and Torment, and then Ambition, which is Wonder and Prime Thunder. We got to see them at DreamHack playing with their 3v3 roster. They have qualified. And then 2 of the laziest names I've ever heard, G2A and G2B. G2 split into 2 teams and then decided just to tack the letters, the alphabet on the end. Come on, guys. You
they
can do
should have
better
put like
than
G2 Apple and G2 Banana.
Literally
Something.
anything.
That's true.
Just do G2 and G3 or something, you know? I mean, like, I don't
well, you know, they're trying to rep G2.
G2.1, G2.2.
That's better, I think. Well, yeah.
I could think of literally anything better than this.
That is beta?
Sure.
But that was without JNaps as well, because he got, like, I think there was a major thunderstorm, then all the...
Yeah, his flight got delayed.
So his flight, there was a snowstorm, like a snow happened in August, and he can't make it. And the crazy thing that happened here was Rizzo then didn't have a teammate, so he just literally puts out on Twitter like, hey, anybody able to make it? Stev is in the area, a power sub that we've seen on and off in our stages and in our conversations.
KBM player too.
Shows up. KBM wins the whole thing against Kernovi and Jazzo, who's the G2B roster. So some really crazy stories that happened there. We also, you alluded to it earlier, that you're not the most popular dad in Rocket League anymore. Sir Jump on Stuff, his teammate wasn't able to make it either, and so his dad shows up and plays. It was a very heartwarming story, really cool stuff. But so far, guys, it's been a crazy tournament. Got 1 more weekend to go, and that'll be here on Twitch. I think it's on Face It TV is where you can watch it. And thoughts about the 2v2 scene, guys, because we've been 3v3 up until this point, and this is the biggest 2v2 thing that's like ever happened in Rocket League.
I love competitive 2v2. It's a much different mentality, which is why a lot of times you'll see different players kind of stepping up to fill the role. A lot of people that have the mentality of 3v3s, you don't have a lot of room to slow things down in your head when 3v3. It's always just like immediate reactionary. You're always having to deal with, well, who's going to get this now? Who's going to demo me? Who's going to bump me? Where is everybody? What is this contest going to be like? Almost every ball in 3v3 is some sort of 50-50. Yeah. Like 70% of them are like 50-50s, and 2s, not at all. You have a lot more time to bait people into situations, a lot more individual play, which is what makes it a lot of fun. Sometimes you get the con of you get a lot of kind of poo goals, as Marky Duda has described them, because one wrong step and it's just an easy tearaway all the way to a net. But you get so many more awesome goals, like Squishies, reset off the ceiling. It's kind of, it's popular right now on Reddit. It made it to the front page within like 2 hours.
Many people saying it's the best goal that's been scored in Rocket League today.
Yeah, I think Remco was giving it huge praise, just saying like this is like competitively, what makes you want to execute this competitively? Like it's not a safe bet.
Insane, but it's because he has so much time on his hands. Because 2v2 is so wide open. So those mechanical players like Squishy, that like everyone talks about him, and then you see him in a 3s game, it's like, oh, he doesn't look that special. Like he looks good, but usually he doesn't have time to shine in those solo plays. So you see it a lot more in 2s. So that's what I like to see there. But 3s is a whole nother dynamic. I do feel like most of the 3s players will be the best in 2s as well. It's just some can only excel in 3s, so they might be kind of falling to the wayside a bit. But 2s is a lot of fun to watch because of that wide openness.
Well, we were talking about this earlier about how, you know, like with Dude with the Nose playing on NRG, because he has this light, he's played with players who are good, he's able to shine. And I think there's a lot of players, duos like Matt and Sizz, who are players who are really good in the 2 situation, but just have never been able to find a successful third. You know, they have found a successful third now, but there are other duos out there in Rocket League that we don't know about as much who now have an opportunity to shine because of this.
The other cool things about these tournaments too is it's all regional based. So you are playing Because you have to be able to attend the studio of where it's located when you go back for the regionals. So, I mean, players that we've seen in the past, like Pluto's a prime example from the Chicago area, Indianapolis area. Even though he may not be able to find a threes team in the easiest way possible, he's still looking out for stuff like that. He can go and find just one friend to go and compete and perform and put on a pretty good show. Plus, you get to see where all these guys are technically based. I mean, it's really interesting to be having people represent their home area per se. Kind of like how you see in like a regional setting LAN. But then it all comes down to the end in Santa Ana. So
very cool stuff. You'll get to see Pluto play with his teammate Karma in the next one, in the Chicago one. That comes up this weekend, guys. It's going to be really cool to see. Cannot wait to see how this NBC 2v2 Universal Open all pans out. But we got one more thing here before we are done in overtime. 50-50, everybody's favorite segment, except for Gibbs because he likes trivia, but he's going to have to compete in this one because it's Carpet Show. We're all in his field. That's coming up after the break. See you there.